So, one day last spring, as spring was warming to summer, I was cooking eggs in a frying pan when I see 5 of those itty bitty little ants go marching across the tile floor in my kitchen, single file, headed directly for my trash, where fresh coffee grounds and last night's scraps abound. And since I'm a guy, well, I just stepped on them with my sneaker. End of story. Only Lois, that chick I had hanging around back then, wanted to start in with me, boy, about how I was a merciless, cruel-hearted bastard of a human beast. Because I just squished a bunch of those itty-bitty little ants. You know, the ones that are about this big. And Lois was having herself a hissy fit over it. So I turns to her and I says, "Lois," I says, "pipe down, would you? Don't you understand? Those were scouts. If even one of them were to have made it back to the ant colony, well, I'd have me a frickin' ant caravan a mile long. Coming and going. Going and coming. From my little trash can here in the kitchen, all the way back to where they came from. To which Lois replied, "What? You goddamn bastard of a beastie man. How could you? How could you? They were only doing their jobs. They were just little ones." To which I replied, "I'm trying to send a message back to where they came from. Lois, dear, that none who venture here ever return alive." Now, of course, meanwhile, back at the ant colony, Staff Sergeant York, he would be in a supervisory position at the entrance to the ant colony. He was getting to be too old to be a soldier ant anymore, so middle management made him an overseer. He stands at the entrance to the ant colony, and he clocks out all the scouts as they go out to scout. locks them all back in again when they return. 12-hour shifts. It's Staff Sergeant York is quite distraught, as well he should be. Scout Team Victor, with Abernathy, Jones, Williams, Wilson, and Cordova, are way overdue. Way overdue. All the other scout teams are returning on time, according to schedule. And the night is falling. And of every scout team that is returning, Staff Sergeant York inquires. Page, Swanson, McDermott, have you seen my boys? Abernathy, Jones, Williams, Wilson, and Cordova? And they all reply, why no, Staff Sergeant, we haven't. McDermott pipes up, they're not in our sector, Staff Sergeant. Very well, carry on, says Staff Sergeant York. But he mutters under his breath, where could they be? You're not worried, are you, Sarge? Asks Page, leader of Scout Team Scrupulous. Nah, don't worry, they'll turn up, says Staff Sergeant York, as he looks yet again at his watch. Oh, you didn't know that about ants, did you? Yeah, they wear watches. So in order to appear nonchalant about it, Staff Sergeant York remarks, say, why don't you guys go chow down? Get yourselves some shut-eye. Which is impossible for an ant. They don't have eyelids. Oh, come on. This lame-ass comedy routine. I figured I'd just throw that in there. Why not? After all, this whole thing is anthropomorphicological anyways. No pun intended. No, of course that pun was intended. You do realize I'm just making all this up, don't you? I mean, I'm actually just lying. Ants do no such things. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ant colony, finally the last crew arrives. And we're about to witness the final curtain as all hope fails. Garrisetti, Jorgensen, Jenkins, and Shorty. Yeah, even ants have nicknames. And Shorty, even for one of those itty bitty little ants, yeah, he's on the short side. And the Sarge pipes up, Garrisetti, have you seen my boys? Abernathy, Jones, Williams, Wilson, and Cordova? Puts Garrisetti on the spot. Now there's nothing for it. So he lets him have it straight up. No holds barred. Didn't Didn't you know, Sarge? Haven't you heard? Scout Team Victor, all of them. Were last seen around 09:30 this morning, disappearing into that giant crack of the Great Wall, 9 clicks north of here. You know the one Staff Sergeant as should ever enter this colony. It's the one where none who venture there ever return.